All right, welcome everybody.
Hey there, hey there.
I'm Graham.
I'm Derek.
And in case you've been living under a rock for the last few days, Ashkan's not with us. He's
with us. He's with us not in person, but
he's alive.
Still alive.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
he's still alive.
Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't died. He's just working on the conference. It's right around the corner. In the meantime, you get to hear me and Derek answer some questions about marketing. Derek's the kind of marketing expert on board with Float On. And today's question is, you talk a lot about Facebook, Derek. It doesn't actually say Derek in there. What about Instagram and Instagram ads?
Oh, I hate to break it to you, faithful listener, but that's Facebook too. Like they bought Instagram
the same thing.
many years ago for like
Solutions in the conference.
$1 billion. They own everything Instagram. It's actually one of their smartest moves ever done, because there's a lot of backlash about Facebook, but Instagram's so great and it's pictures and whatnot. But you can actually control Instagram ads from your Facebook business manager.
Can you control Instagram posts from Facebook?
You can now. That actually happened literally weeks ago.
Oh, crazy. Okay, I didn't know that.
You can post to stories on Facebook from your Facebook platform. You can also cross over stories, so you can post an Instagram story and it'll go over to your Facebook page story. They're really trying to make the platforms very similar, but still have a distinct delivery difference.
Which is, Instagram, I assume, is still just all about the
pictures and videos.
Primarily, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say that I just as a Float Center owner, which I'm guessing this person is having the same thought process, but I'm like, okay, I want to rock out Instagram. Mm-hmm. It's mainly visual. There's photos, and I think float tanks and float tank centers make for some really good photo content.
And there's a different audience that might be on Instagram more than are on Facebook. Like I feel like everyone's on Facebook, but maybe a more targeted younger demographics on Instagram. So if you're really trying to go out there, and yeah, you can demographically target by age, but if you really want to be on a platform that your audience uses more than daily, hourly in some cases. I'm a huge fan of Instagram. I'm on that all the time. If you see me on my phone, I'm probably not checking emails. I'm really on Instagram. So, when it comes down to it, Instagram ads are one of those things that if you want to completely rock out on that all by itself, go for it. Test it out, right? I feel like it's going to be pretty hard to get people on Instagram to book a float. Yeah, you can link to something and then they can go in, through a paid Instagram ad and hit your booking manager. But, they're really there to just browse pictures. The Instagram browser is not the greatest experience as far as the web browser that's within Instagram. And so I feel like if you want to build brand awareness, try to get people from that state of not knowing what floating is to curious about what floating is, Instagram might be a great visual platform to do that, because it's can't get lost in copy. If you're not a good copywriter, great. The first thing that's going to catch people is a great picture or video.
So would you say posting on Instagram is useful, but maybe ads on Instagram aren't as much? Or I guess what's your take on the organic posting versus ads on Instagram?
So I do a lot of ads on Instagram. If I'm doing something on Facebook and I'm boosting it, I'm probably also doing it on Instagram. And the Facebook ads platform, you can do more than just Instagram. You can also do Facebook Messenger ads. You can put ads on the marketplace. The Facebook ads platform, you can hit whatever Facebook owns. You can probably advertise on that network. So Instagram is just one of many places you can advertise on the Facebook platform that's not Facebook.
And so I guess I was asking because you said that you don't really see people on Instagram going to actually book a float. So what's the return on ads, or what's the value of kind of running ads on Instagram, or even backing up further? Like, why do you think that people would come in to book a float off Facebook but not off of Instagram as much?
Well, I think the way it kind of works out is Instagram, there's not really an easy desktop platform, whereas Facebook, there's a desktop platform. Mm-hmm. And so even though the majority of people are accessing Facebook and Instagram from mobile, I see a lot more conversions coming from the desktop platform. I think just because it's easier to enter your credit card information, you probably already have that information saved in your browser. It's easier to type in passwords that are your favorite passwords to keep reusing all over the internet. Like, it's just a more native experience, and that's shifting. Like, more and more when the mobile browsing and gets better, people are just going to naturally shift to buying things off of mobile. But, integrations with Apple Pay is going to come, and that'll make it easier to book. But until it's easier to book mobile, most people I feel like are still going to book on the desktop.
Interesting.
At least that's with Portland. I mean, maybe Portland's that counterculture where, people are not buying on mobile, but I feel like it's a lot easier to buy on desktop than it is mobile.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing. I mean, either way, it seems like both in talking to other float tank centers that they get more bang for their buck with Facebook, and also not even float tank centers, just doing some research into advertising on social media in general. It just seems like Instagram ads are not quite as successful for a lot of people as Facebook ads are. And maybe it's just you really need to go with those products that are so visual. Like I could see clothing, for example, doing better on Instagram than on Facebook, and maybe floating is just so experiential. It doesn't have that same, like, what you're viewing is actually the product, and so an image-based platform is more successful. Or I'm not exactly sure. Again, it just seems like I
tell some really quick stories on Instagram and do quick 10-second Instagram story ads, and so it's more of, when I advertise on Instagram, it's more of an awareness thing. I'm not looking solely for conversions. A lot of our marketing at Float On isn't directly tied into conversions, which is like counter to what I say for a lot of starting centers.
It is counter to what you say, yeah.
But for starting centers, you got to really seek those conversions. So if you're, again, strapped for cash and you want to go ahead and put your money where you're going to get money back, test it out. Maybe Instagram's a hit in your community, but I would put my money on Facebook. When you do have a little bit of budget, or you are just a super user of Instagram like myself and you have fun just using it and you're going to use it as your center quite a bit, develop an audience on there. I mean, I think Float On's got like 1,800 fans, which is a fourth of what we have on Facebook, but they're super engaged. When I actually post on Instagram, I get a lot more engagement. I can get up to 100 people liking something out of 1,500 people, whereas I post on 8,000 on Facebook and maybe 20 people like something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we did a good episode before too, so go look it up. If you type in social media, it'll turn up on our site. But it's on how you can cross post. Do a Facebook post and make sure that's going out to Instagram and vice versa. So it doesn't even need to cost you more time when you're either running ads or not. Really cross posting between Facebook and Instagram, which is great, or at least that time is minimized. So that's the nice thing. If you want to maintain an Instagram, if you don't care about it being your primary social media platform, there's a lot of ways to do that without adding too much to your plate.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's all I have.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the platform, develop it, but only when you can have the extra money to not care about return for Instagram.
Cool. And if you have your own marketing questions or any floaty questions at all,
go to floattanksolutions.com/podcast.
And we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.